currently, Syracuse has interest in two big men in the class of 2025 now that Matthew Gilhool is no longer an option. Those two players are Chris Cenac and Asher Elson. Let's start with Chris Cenac because Chris Cenac is a really, really elite recruit, a 5-star recruit. Asher Elson is a 4-star, but Chris Cenac he's the dream, okay? Chris Cenac is 6'10", 210 pounds from New Orleans. He is a power forward or a center. He is a 5-star recruit on every service you go to except for Rivals, and Rivals still has him as a top 20 player in the country. Chris Cenac is ranked as the number 6 player overall in the country over on ESPN and on On3. So this guy is an ultra talented recruit, one of the very best players in the class of 2025 overall. Not just big men, overall. A top 10, near a top 5 recruit, number 6 overall on ESPN and on On3. He was recently offered by Syracuse. This happened in early June, and he might be saying, well, that's a little bit late. Yes, but this guy, Chris Cenac, is also a little bit of a late bloomer when it comes to recruiting. I looked at his profile over on Rivals, and you can go look at how much he has shot up in the rankings recently. I believe in March of 2023, Chris Cenac was not even ranked on the Rivals recruiting service. And just steadily, this kid has been improving. Perhaps he's getting more looks scouting-wise because we know that scouting in some areas are more scouted than others. More eyeballs, people are seeing just how good this kid really is. It's probably a combination of the two. But nevertheless, he has shot up in the recruiting rankings. Now basically a consensus 5-star recruit. So that is why Syracuse started a little bit late in the recruitment process, along with many other schools on Chris Cenac. And there are no crystal ball predictions right now for Chris Cenac, which that suggests to me that his recruitment is wide open. Once again, Chris Cenac, no crystal ball predictions out there. That probably means his recruitment is relatively open, especially because he's getting new offers by the minute, okay? He's getting new offers by the minute. He is consistently shooting up the boards. That's why new offers are coming in, and he has to leave all the options on the table. Now, Syracuse has shown a lot of interest in Chris Cenac. They didn't just offer him and go away. The Orange flew out to Turkey to watch him and Jordan Smith play for Team USA at the U17 FIBA World Championships, where the USA won gold. Chris Cenac and Jordan Smith were on the team, obviously. I believe Brenden Straughn was the one who represented Syracuse. And hey, once again, you fly out halfway across the world to go watch a couple players play basketball. You are going to get looks, and Chris Cenac has recently said that he may take an official visit to Syracuse. So really, ultimately, what it comes down to is if the Orange can get Chris Cenac on campus, then they obviously have a shot. If they can't get him on campus, then they have no chance. That's just how it goes when it comes to recruiting. Even if it's an unofficial visit, because I don't believe Sadiq White, who's currently the only member of the class of 2025, I don't believe he's actually taken an official visit to Syracuse, but he does have a couple unofficial visits. You just have to get Chris Cenac on campus. If you can get him on campus, you have a chance. Now, as far as a scouting report of Chris Cenac, this comes from 24/7 Sports national analyst Brandon Jenkins. I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but basically, he's a good finisher inside. He can also play on the perimeter, and he is an elite defender and rim protector. So the way I envision it is just imagine if Chris Cenac were to commit to Syracuse and the Orange have Cenac and Sadiq White in the front court for 2025-26. That would be absolutely lethal because Sadiq White's scouting report suggests that he is one of the best, if not the best defender in the class of 2025. And Chris Cenac is also an excellent defender. And they're both in the front court. One would play power forward. The other would play center. I'd imagine it would be Cenac at center and Sadiq White as the starting power forward. But my goodness, that would be one of the best front courts, even though it's young, it would be one of the best front courts in the ACC, if not the country, if Chris Cenac were to commit to Syracuse, and assuming that the Orange hang on to Sadiq White. I'm not suggesting that there's any peril there, but at the same time, nothing's official until it's officially official. You need the player to obviously sign on. I'm not suggesting that he's going to decommit or anything like that, but you get the idea, right? It's a verbal pledge right now. He could still get offers. He can still change his mind, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying it's a very unlikely possibility that it could happen. Cenac would probably be the starting five in 2026. Now, there is a lot of competition out there for him. So, it's all about if Syracuse can actually get this kid on campus. And the last time the Orange got a five-star center, you ready for this? It was 2012, and that was DeJuan Coleman. That is the last five-star center to commit to Syracuse. It's been a long time. The Orange don't typically get these elite centers in high school. It's been a while. And hopefully a guy like Chris Cenac could flip the script. And to be quite honest with you, if we're ranking the three big men, just in terms of what recruiting analysts are saying, Chris Cenac is head and shoulders the best of who Syracuse offer. It would be Chris Cenac, Matthew Gilhool, and then Asher Elson, who we're going to get to soon. So Chris Cenac is the dream. This would be more than a consolation prize. It would actually be even better than getting Matthew Gilhool. It would. It's going to be stiff competition. He's getting schools offering him by the minute. He's a fast rising recruit. So hopefully Syracuse can really build a relationship with him and get him on campus. Because if you can get him on campus, then you have a chance. And I know you guys might be thinking, is this guy too good for Syracuse? No, he's not too good for Syracuse. The Orange just landed the number 6 overall player in the country in Donnie Freeman in its 2024 class. Chris Cenac is also the number 6 overall player in the country. This is Syracuse basketball. They can get elite recruits to come to campus. It has happened plenty of times before. Now, whether they work out or not is one thing, but they can get elite recruits to come to campus. They just did it with Donnie Freeman. Hopefully, they can do the same with Chris Cenac,